Am I correct in saying that?
So I'm gonna say it differently because I said to Vic, I said, Vic, I think every man needs to be married, right? I think every man needs to be married. I don't think men should be alone. I think we should procreate. I think every man should want a legacy. I don't think we should be selfish about that. Just like I believe every woman should have a baby because I believe a baby makes every woman happy. No matter even if she says that she wouldn't be happy, I believe deep down inside when she looks at another woman with a child, that mother instinct will never ever go away. It's always going to be there. You can deny it and all this sort of stuff, turn away from it and judge it, but at the end of the day, if you gave birth to a child, you would want it. So that being said, yes, I need to be married. So my mindset now is that I'm a marriage minded guy, that I want to be married for the right reason. So you're absolutely right in combining the need with the want with what you said.
Okay.
But
Right.
like I said, I always told Vic in the past, I said, Vic, right? I believe that men in general need to get their game up so they're in the position to want to be married. That's the whole purpose of what we do. Think about making all this money, having all this knowledge, and not having anything substantial to share it with, even if it's a significant other of a wife. You have nothing. So what's all the purpose for? What was all that work for?
So I'll break this down. I was talking to one of my old teachers in the pool the other day. We were doing lap swims, whatever, and Miss Al-Zubaydi. She's an Arab lady, so she comes from a totally different culture, other than American culture. You know, she's traditional. She's traditionally from Iraq, and so the culture is significantly different. So they get married early on. They got married when they were 16. So through that marriage, they both built, they built their legacy together. What I mean by legacy is, they had their two kids. They had two sons. One's a doctor and one is a judge, I believe. And so they built that. They have a nice house, of course. They have everything, set for them. They've done wonderfully. They've done wonderful when it comes to finances, right? And they built all that from the age of 16 to where they are now. She's 73. He's 76. So they built everything together. So you don't necessarily have to accomplish the financial or the professional thing by yourself and then find someone to marry. I think that's a mistake. Honestly, if we corrected our culture here in America, I do believe that we could still get married young and build together and become professionals together. Do all those things together. I don't think you have to be a single entity to get those things done, because what happens, and what I'm seeing happening a whole lot, especially with our females, is they are doing wonderful things. I'm talking about education. They are reaching spots in corporate America that hasn't been reached by Black people before. We even have one running for president. Look, I mean, so at the end of the day, you're seeing Black women do wonderful things at very high levels, and I think they feel like they have to do that on their own before they can pursue either having a husband or having a child. And I think it's a bit of a mistake, because some of them they get up there in age and everything, and then once you become like 35 plus, it's kind of a rush job after that, right? Because even you said it the other week, we were talking, you were saying, hey man, I'm 40. You're 40, what? 5?
7.
47. You said you're 47. Hey man, the door's closing on me having, a baby, or a child, right? So with women, that's even more significant. It's closing on you because you're getting a little older. And I had my last baby at 40, right? So my baby, when she
men
turns
don't get
20,
old, that baby.
Well, okay. Let me explain this. I'm gonna break it down for you. So I'm 40. I had a brand new baby. I'm 43. I had a brand new baby at 40, right? And I think about where I'm going to be when my child's going to be 20. When my child turns 20, I'm going to be 60. When my child's 30, I'm going to be 70. When my child's 40, I'm going to be 80. So am I going to be here at the same age that I am now? My mother's here. She's still living. She's still very healthy. She still moves. She's still motivated. I'm going to be 80 years old when my child is my age. So am I still going to be that same, am I still going to have that same motivation? Am I still going to be physically motivated to do things? I really have to ask myself that. So that door even closes on men. what it does for women is it closes on women biologically, because the later in age that they get, the more dangerous pregnancy is. So a woman after, 35, they may be thinking, hey, I got to do this before I'm 40, or I got to do this before I'm 37. Now, through medical advances and everything that we have now, women are starting to have babies at 50, 55. I'm seeing, any type of age or whatever, but they still have it in the back of their head that they want to have it earlier than 50 years old. What I'm saying is, I think if we get our culture right here, that we can pursue professionalism in our goals and our careers while young with a person, but we both have to have understanding that, hey, we're pursuing these things. If we get married at 18 right after high school, we have to have the understanding that, hey, we're both going to college, or we got to get certified, we got to get whatever we have to get our careers going and build from there. You know what I'm saying? Because if we wait too late, man, I mean, everything's a rush job. You get what I'm saying? Do you kind of feel what I'm saying there?
Well, okay. So you touched on a lot of stuff, so I'm going to break it down, right? How I'm seeing it. Because unlike you, I don't want struggle love. I don't want any of that struggle love. I ain't struggling love with nobody. I'm not building with nobody. No woman can help me do what I do. I don't need her to cook me breakfast. I don't need none of that because she can't do what I do, right?
Okay.
And I don't believe in struggle love. I'm not gonna save up money, right? Let's be specific. Black women have babies. Black women don't get married. Black women have babies. That's their first mindset. They don't get married. They have babies, right? So it's very difficult to find a fresh one. They do. That's just a fact. They prefer that baby mama route because if you talk to most black women, especially modern black women, they always say they don't need a man. That's preached to them. That's taught to them. Every other race can go out there, go to school, get an education, and get married. Black women feel like they have to get that first before they think of getting together with a man. So that's two different mindsets. Right? And I find that strange that they can think like that. But talking about Kamala Harris, she has no kids because she made it clear in her career she wanted that career. In some ways, I understand it because she had a mindset and she wanted to be in Congress and all that stuff, right? And I commend her for that. Like her, I wish I would have smelt the roses. Like her, I wish I would have smelt the roses and lift my head up to see that at a certain point, I had to prioritize having a partner, right? I should have prioritized that. But then again, I prioritized more of not having struggle love, right? I wanted to have a baby so I can afford a baby, so I can enjoy a baby. Not that child is a burden to me, right? And I don't want that. I never wanted that. So material possessions, having a comfort of my life was more important to me than having a child when I was coming up. Did I focus on that area too much? Yes. Do I have regret focusing on that area too much? Yes. Do I have regret where I am now? No. Right? Because now if I want to get married, I'm writing a check. I'm good. If I want to go on a honeymoon, how long you want to go? I'm good. Right? If I want to pay all the bills, I'm good. If she comes in, it's a plus, but she will be paying rent over here. I don't know what she's thinking, but she will be paying rent, right?
Well, yeah, you're in California, so
I'm not that guy if you tell me I need to take care of your nails and hair, that just tells me you can't afford your own upkeep. That's all that tells me.
Okay, Antoine.
Right?
Antoine,
but I'm not gonna be split. What?
Right, Antoine. One thing I want to tell you, and hopefully you can do this fast. You need to reset your router and come back on. Reason being is because your internet connection is iffy at best. You may be running at like 3 megabytes per second upload. Dude, it's terrible.
Yeah, your camera looking like a flip phone. I was just about to say you need to restart, but it started glitching. Right. So but to
what's Alonda saying here? Alonda.
Yeah. Go ahead. Let's see what she got to say in the comments.
Okay, I think it's better for people to be a little older before getting married and or having kids. Okay, and Alonda, I agree with you in this society. It definitely is. What I was kind of saying is witnessing a woman that wasn't from the society, wasn't from a Western society, being, like I said, from Iraq, being of a Middle Eastern society. They work a little different. You know what I'm saying? And we can't say it doesn't work because a lot of those people come over here and they do spectacular things. They open stores, they open, hotel chains, they open restaurants. They get very well educated, all these different things, and they get married at a very early age. I think that in America, here in the West, I think it's kind of driven forward to wait until you mature a little bit, and that's okay. I don't see anything wrong with that, Alonda. But what I do see is in the case of Antoine, he's 47 now. Now he has pursued and gotten everything that he wants in a career, and he's got his money right. Now it's crunch time, right? And us men, we kind of have this thing where we say, well, it's never too old for a man to have a baby. That's not true. That's not true, because I have a 3-year-old. Like I said, I'm 43, and that girl can run me to death. You know what I'm saying? Whereas,
what do you think? I think the age is relative to the resources, because I have a friend of mine. He became a father again in his 60s, but
right.
He was in good health and he could travel. I think it's really contingent upon your health,
That too. Right. That too.
I think because health is wealth,
Right. And like I said, many of you who are watching this, you guys know I'm on this journey of losing weight. I want to get down to 200 pounds even, so I've lost a whole lot of weight. So, you're right. Health is wealth. But even still, you have a lot more energy at 20 than you do 40. To give you an example, if you're 20 years old, you can literally work, go out on a Friday, stay out until 5:00 a.m. and get back up at 7 and work another 8 hours. That's not happening at 40. You feel what I'm saying? That's right.
Start yawning like after the we gonna be in the bed.
Right. And like I said, for women, I think it's just maybe, like I said, a biological thing with them. It's just the doors are closing biologically. Hey, it's gonna get a little dangerous, in your 40s to have a child. Doctors will say that. Science says that. So, with them, yeah, it's better to get pregnant and have a baby at, 25, 26 years old. And hopefully by that time, where I'm seeing a whole lot of Black women now, they're getting an education, and hell, they're getting master's degrees before they're 25 years old. So, it's working out for them. But
getting the education out of the way is I think that's very important for women.
It is. Yeah.
And this is kind of like where, you start crossing into that gray area between what the rhetoric of, everybody going to school to get master's degrees and cutting their relationship opportunities short, and, thinking that way, right, versus like, why don't you just do it within a necessary means of just being able to do it. If you can do it,
Right.
But trying to satisfy some timeline that may have passed you by, and now you want to come and try to reset time and time travel, get a do-over. Like, you got to be realistic with your needs and wants. You know what I'm saying? Because you might put a bunch of stuff on your list that you want to accomplish, want to accomplish, and then that might be different than your need to accomplish. And sometimes that stuff just doesn't sync up, Like, there's plenty of things that I started, completed, and, thought that I would have done a lot longer than I wanted to. And, I thought I was going to be in the military for 20 years. And then I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm going contracted.
Right.
And then I, I worked overseas for 4 years, and I was like, the last contract that I took, I said, man, I see how people get over here and they just get lumped in and just keep getting the money. And the money's good up until a certain point, but if you can't connect with the reason why you're making the money to your overall plan, you can still end up being behind just simply because you weren't available. Because the best ability is availability. You know what I'm saying? Which comes back to, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And even if you have the means, you still have to make the right decision, which is very much why, like, some people that prioritize their wants over their needs, it doesn't matter how much money you give them, doesn't change their life. It just gives them an accelerant to be exactly who they already are at present. You have to change how you're thinking and what you're doing to make the resources line up with what you're trying to accomplish, Okay. So a lot of people will try to tell you what they would be doing if they were in your position, but they're speaking from a place of need in most cases, when they're just giving unsolicited advice. because they don't know your situation. They're just looking at what they would have done if they had a chance to do it over.
Right. And listening to Antoine and what he was saying that women, black women in particular, wanted to have babies and really didn't think about having husbands. I don't see, this is the reason why I think we need to have more females on the show, because they would be able to
I try to tell them, get out of my comments and get on camera. Ladies, if you're listening, and you always got something else to say, and all you want to do is disagree, get on camera and come up here and speak and tell us what you think.
Absolutely.
Ladies, if you want to be part of the conversation that leads to a solution that balances out the commentary that we have, you have to speak up. You can't do it from the comment section.
Right. Are there any more comments that you want to post up here? Are you seeing anything?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Go ahead and hit your followers into the comments over there too, because if possible. But
all right, and like I said, I don't know if it's the case in what Antoine is saying. It could be, it may not be. I think that we do see a lot of sisters that can call themselves mothers but can't call themselves wives, and that's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? It definitely is unfortunate. But I don't know the particular reason in why, you know what I'm saying, it's like that. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know why they're saying, nah, I'm okay being a wife, you know what I'm saying, but I do want a baby. I don't know why that is. What did your wife say?
Because they dumb.
Say it, baby.
Because they dumb.
Hey.
She said they dumb.
Hey, we'll talk about it. Why they dumb, baby?
Because it doesn't make sense.
I'm not making. I want to make sure there's. I'm not making. I want to make sure, Cabby, because I know you have your little sensitive heart.
You look beautiful, man. By the way, I appreciate that.
I want to make sure I'm clear with you, Cabby. Okay, yeah. I know you have your little soft spot for them. I don't give them a pass for nothing. You choose. You have a smart mind, and you are accountable for what you do. You know what I mean? It's just a seed until you give it dirt to make it a plant. If I'm a woman, that's one thing I'm gonna cherish, because there's nothing more proud to be able to give birth to a child. But it's even more proud when the man to give birth that you have that child with is there to make sure he's there after the child is born and do his job as a man. I hold men just as accountable. I don't think no broke man should have a kid. I don't think no broke man should. I think if a woman meets a man with a kid and she doesn't have a kid, she should run. I don't even think she should give that man a chance, because that shows his irresponsibility. Period. There's no question about it. There's no, so you just had unprotected sex. Yeah, we were young and dumb. No, you were just dumb. You were young and dumb. You just dumb because you knew the outcome. That's all I'm saying. And
Antoine, I want to put a pin in there, because when you said they're just dumb, baby, pick up where you was about to start talking.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, women always try to justify their decision making and their stupid, ideology of, well, this is how I was told it was supposed to be. Girl, shut up. Shut up.
Come on now.
No, that's not how it's supposed to be. We are supposed to be nurturers and caregivers, and we are supposed to listen to our husbands. Like, I agree wholeheartedly about that. Like, when Vic and I got together and he asked me what I wanted, I told him straight up. I said, I'm a housewife. I am a spoiled housewife. I said, I like being at home and I like taking care of my kids and my husband. So however that looks,
fit it in.
And I will do my part.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there you go. And that's why she's married today.
Yep. And the trade-off is that I want to be a husband. There's a big difference in men that just want a woman versus men that are husbands that want a wife. So if you're a man and you want to be a husband and you just want a woman, that's something completely different that you're going to end up just fitting in, because you're operating from a place of need.
Because every woman ain't a wife.
All right, folks. Appreciate you sticking with me to the end. This has been another episode of Beyond the Algorithm. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go get the book. And most importantly, I will see you beyond the algorithm, because that's where life actually happens.